So I was thinking about some things I'd done with linguistics years and years ago. Um, and one of the things that came to mind was Hmong, the Hmong languages in Southeast Asia, like southern China, Thailand, Vietnam, that area. Um, and there was an interesting thing about the phonology of the Hmong languages. Um, and that is namely, I don't know if you can even read this. Lateral releases. So this is in um, basically like complex onsets. If you analyze it a certain way, the first consonant is um, is the catch, and the second consonant is the release of the sound. So here, what's happening is you have a consonant and then another consonant, and when that second consonant is a lateral, like L, right? Then um, only the labial stops can take that as a lateral release. And in this particular dialect, I'm going to say this wrong. Mong something like that. The dental plosive can also take a lateral release. So this is interesting because with P, M, and that dental plosive, so that would be like kind of like a T, except like your tongue is like at the bottom of your top teeth, maybe poking out slightly. It's like t, kind of like a th in English or a the, but a little bit more abrupt, like a th, something like that. The thing about these is when you make a lateral, when you make an L, immediately after, when those open up into an L, you can see it. Right? And very notably, if you look at the vocalizations of deaf people, so who've been born, they were born deaf or they went deaf very, very early, very, very young, so that they never spoke a language, they never heard a language spoken. The only places that they will use L is exactly in this place, next to P's, M's, and maybe like the. Sometimes like maybe a little tiny bit further back in the mouth. But basically we're looking at just those first, like the front of the mouth. So the way this chart is organized, this is the front of the mouth, this is the back of the mouth, this is the throat, right? So L's can only pair up with these guys here at the front of the mouth. And specifically, only the plosives. So P and M, basically the same, except with an M you're allowing airflow through the nose. Otherwise, P and M are articulated exactly the same way. So P and M are visually, when you look at a person, they look exactly the same. When somebody's saying a P, when somebody's saying an M. So the L being able to show up on both of those, if it's a visual thing, makes sense. And then also, so dental is like, it's not even listed here. Yeah, it's not even shown here. It would be between what I have labeled here as labial and central, I think. Right in that spot. Um, or maybe that T is supposed to be dental. I'm not sure. What does my chart say? I made this a long ass time ago. Okay, so that was C. So that's central. T is dental. T. Oh, okay. Okay. So both of these. Yeah, the laterals they're dental laterals actually. They're dental in the first place. So they're already visible. Yeah, these are very visible. Okay, so that makes sense then. So it's basically like an affricate in Hmong Jua, the tl, tl, or you can have pl, pl, mle, tl, something like that. But you can see these. You can see the L. And I got into a discussion. Mostly it was me being yelled at with a phonetician, and he was saying that we never consider the possibility that it's anything other than acoustic if we can ever explain it any other way. So I was like, okay, so how do you explain this acoustically? And he's just like, just hand waving. He's like, oh, there's ways. Okay, buddy. But I mean, you have a spoken language where one of the properties of the phonology is plausibly vision based, not acoustic based. But it's heresy to say this. And I've always found this interesting because it kind of the discussion with this guy was slightly prolonged, and he just kept saying all kinds of stupid shit. I don't know if I can find that conversation. It was years ago. I don't know if I'd be able to pull that out and find it. But it was hilarious because he would be like, "Oh, who's your source on this?" And I'd be like, "I don't know," and list like 5 things that I got it from, and he's like, "Yeah, I thought so." I'm like, "Okay, so." But then I would show him videos of Hmong speaking, and you could clearly see it. You could clearly see when the L occurs. You can see it inside their mouth. You can see the L happening, and it very visibly. And if the L were to occur next to any of the other sounds in the language, it would be invisible. So there's this weird property that this thing that's supposedly about sound is very plausibly, at the very least, very plausibly visually oriented.